Hello, Internet. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
The University of Utah takes on Oregon State in Corvallis. Let's talk about it.
Major League Baseball. Who has punched their ticket to the postseason?
With big news of the Damian Lillard trade, how's that going to affect our Jazz? The Utah Jazz get a new streaming service. What do we know about it?
All that and more. My name is Darren. That is AJ. And this is the DNA Sports Recap.
Roll the intro.
Cheers to you.
And cheers to you.
So good.
Love the toast, man.
How's it going, AJ?
I'm doing good, buddy. Been a busy week. How about you?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely been a busy week. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's go ahead and first talk about the University of Utah going up to Corvallis. What's your first take on what's going on with that game this weekend?
Well, Oregon State had a really rough game against Washington State last week. Did you happen to catch any of it?
Yes. They did put up 34 points and still got the L.
Yeah, exactly. And DJ Ugalele is a very talented quarterback. Obviously, he's a Clemson transfer. I guess I was kind of surprised on how he reacted under pressure because Washington State sent a ton of pressure against him the whole time, and he just looked a little shaken from some of those pressures that they were sending. And if Washington State is going to rattle him, Utah is really going to rattle him.
I'm sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So yeah, it's gonna be a much different story with that Utah defensive front coming at him.
So right now, the lineup is Utah by 3.5 points. The home team typically gets about a 3.5 point bump. So the fact that they're that swing is about 7 points there. I'm actually impressed the fact that Utah is getting some recognition on that.
I think it's because they're the number 10 Utes, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're Vegas, you're definitely counting on them to win, but this is not going to be an easy task, dude.
No, it's not. I mean,
tough place to play.
Number 10 Utes. So that's 2 weeks in a row that the Utes have climbed up on the standings on the AP poll.
Yep.
But this is the highest ranked opponent they've played so far, which is 19.
Oregon State only dropped to 19.
Oregon State's 19 as of the time of recording. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be the highest ranked opponent they've faced so far. Yeah. When it comes to DJ, the quarterback transfer from Clemson, over the last couple of games, he has thrown 2 total touchdown passes in the last 3 games, but also has thrown 4 picks in the same time frame. So needless to say, most of his touchdowns that have been scoring with him under center is him rushing the ball. He's actually had 5 rushing touchdowns this season so far. Definitely going to be a heavy run team, this Oregon State team. How are you feeling about the University of Utah defense being able to hold up against that run attack that they're going to be running?
Advantage Utah.
Yeah.
Advantage Utah, dude.
Yeah.
The defensive line is strong. You've got great linebackers. And if you're going to try to turn this Utah defense one-dimensional, they are going to bury you. I mean, that's all there is to it. These guys Oregon State in the past has had quarterbacks that are able to produce yards in the air. DJ's really struggled in these last couple of games, and he hasn't even faced a defensive opponent anything like what he's about to face this week. This is going to be a tough game. The weather is probably going to be a factor. It's up in the Northwest. It's always rainy and wet, so running the ball is it's going to be a primary option. But Utah's going to be able to hold them up. My concern for this game is definitely going to be more leaned into the Utah offense.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into that for sure and talk about that because I don't know how much rumbling you've heard over the last several days, but the talk is with not only is Cam may not be ready for this one, even though they keep saying he's a game time decision. There are some rumblings up on the Hill that we may not even see him at all this season.
But we might not see Cam this season?
Yes. This comes from somebody that is on the radio close to the team. Said that he can't say with confidence or not whether it's valid, but there is rumblings that we may not even see him at all this season. You fans may not want to hear that, but maybe something we might have to be prepared for.
Yeah, I mean, in the last video we just put out over the weekend, the big concern is it time to hit the panic button without Cam, right?
Right.
And I guess my opinion is no. We have an ultra talented quarterback in Nate Johnson who's capable of throwing the football. He's capable of running the football. Is Andy Ludwig going to give him an opportunity to actually be successful in this offense? That is the question.
Yeah, I was actually looking at some of the comparison stats between DJ and Nate. DJ has completed 57% of his passes, and Nate Johnson is at 64% completion rate.
Right.
However, the attempts are much, much lower for Nate, and that's no fault of Nate's It's just like you mentioned in the previous video, the playbook isn't exactly opened up to him there.
Yeah.
So I definitely think, this whole, and you guys mentioned in the comments quite a bit, so really appreciate the engagement on that. And we 100% agree with you. You got to take some risks. You got to let the kid throw the ball down the field and see what happens. Maybe not even throw the ball down the field, but, just run some cross routes like you were talking about last week. Just give him the chance to throw the ball and make some plays that way versus, just simply
confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Nate Johnson needs confidence on the football field. He's going to make mistakes. Our defense is going to be able to cover up some of those mistakes. But if he doesn't have the opportunity to make mistakes, he's never going to get better like we need him to.
He's going to throw a pick.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, and realistically, we want him to get some of these picks and some of these, some of these mistakes out. Let's do all this stuff now, right? Let's do it against Oregon State. Let's do it, the following week against Cal after the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's be ready for that USC team if Nate Johnson's got to go. Right. Let's make it so that he's got access to the full playbook and you trust him to run a flea flicker and throw the ball down the field and make progress. Because we need that explosive offense. We just cannot rely on our defense to be holding everybody to 7 points because you're not gonna be able to do that against USC. You're not gonna be able to do that against Oregon. And we've got some against Washington, right? Like these teams are ridiculous offenses. And if we can't put up points, this season's, we're going to make a bowl game, of course. Like we're almost there already.
Right.
But I think every Utah fan, the goal is not to make a bowl game. The goal is to make that national championship game, right? Like that's what this season was about. Cam's back, Brandt's back. Yep. This is a big time season, right? We've got a ton of returning defensive players. In my opinion, the most talented Utah team we've probably ever seen if they're all on the field at the same time. And this is supposed to be our season. So this is what we want to see from these guys is the ability to win tough football games. And unless you give Nate that chance, we're just not ever going to see that.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It's one thing to play not to lose, which is what we've kind of been
100% what we've been doing.
The goal is have the same thing with Oregon is going to be the exact opposite is can their offense carry their defense. Ours is going to be, can our defense carry our offense? Can we score enough points in order for the defense to keep it locked down? And, the competition each week is getting harder and harder. The defense has stepped up to the plate, but at some point there's going to be a crack in that dam and somebody's going to get through. Someone's going to put up 20 points on this team.
Someone's going to hang a 30 or 40 piece on us. It's coming, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And, we got to be
able to match.
Yeah. We got to be able to match. And if, you're still hamstringing,
you only got to win by one, right? You only got to win by 1 point.
Yeah.
So, just like the USC game last year, we did just enough to get the win. That's all we need to do.
Right.
So, but we've got to have Nate in a position that he can put up that extra 1 point when we need it.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
It's going to be a tough game. I look forward to it. It's on a Friday night. So, it's kind of in the middle of, it's nice that it's not in the middle of the day. There's a lot of primetime games on. So it's a short week, but it's going to be a good game. Obviously the hope is we see Cam out there.
That's my next question. Do we see Cam this weekend?
I hope so. I always hope we see Cam.
Yeah. I'm guaranteeing we're going to see him. Whether or not it's going to be actually running plays. I don't know.
Yeah. I am 100% good with Nate Johnson.
Yeah.
As a Utes fan, I've accepted Nate's going to get the next starts. My hope is more that the coaching staff opens up the playbook and gives him the ability to gain confidence and run this offense, because that's what we need if Cam's not ready to go.
Yeah, all things equal to last year, the goalpost for what's going to be a successful season for the Utes has changed this year.
Yeah,
the last 2 years we've gotten we wanted back-to-back Pac-12 championships.
Yep.
We fell short of winning the Rose Bowl last year. If it wasn't for the change in the college football playoffs, that would be the goal this year, is just to win the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
But with that no longer being part of that, that unfortunately moved our what would be a successful season to make it to the
national championship's the goal, man.
Yeah,
I mean at least playing in the playoff is the goal.
I think the playoffs, making it to the college football playoff, I think is the goal this
Absolutely.
Season. That would be the next step. Obviously winning it would be great, but I think the next step logically for this team would be to make it.
Yep.
So okay, I'm saying that we don't see him. I'm hoping that I'm wrong.
I'm expecting not to see Cam this week.
Oh, okay. All right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I don't expect to see him either. I hope the rumblings on the hill is wrong, and they're just trying to, again, paint a narratives to keep the other team off guard. So
I think it's also probably a narrative to curb expectations for this Utah team, because the fans are getting impatient because they're seeing this lackluster offense. I think it's if it's any narrative, it's to say, hey, let's get used to Nate Johnson playing football.
Oh yeah, the second you announce, oh yeah, he's out this season, we're not going to see him, and
Just
yeah, you're going to kill morale, and everybody's going to be like, oh my gosh, Nate Johnson can't carry this team to success. Well, if he's carried, so far 4-0, doing well. So
I
don't know. We always like to talk about the odds there. We already talked about how Utes favored 3.5 points. The over-under line is at 44.5. What are you taking, over-under?
I'm going to take under on this one.
Yeah.
The slow-paced offense the Utes have, I do not see Oregon State scoring a ton in this game with the defensive performances the Utes have put on. Yeah, definitely going under.
I'm going under, but I'm going to say it's going to be closer than it has been in previous weeks.
I agree. Go Utes.
Go Utes. That's right. All right, let's go ahead and pivot over to
set change.
All right. Oh, the magics of editing. I love it.
Yeah.
First, let's talk about the breaking news. Damian Lillard has been traded from the Portland Trail Blazers to the Milwaukee Bucks. What's your first take on that? Give me your thoughts real quick. Go ahead.
First of all, I'm always happy that Dame's out of the Western Conference.
True.
But unfortunately, there has been a ton of talent traded back into the Western Conference to the tune of Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton stays in the Western Conference, Tumani Kamara, Josip Nurkic, I guess he stays in the conference. Grayson Allen's back in the Western Conference, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson. So all those guys involved in this gigantic, massive trade for one Damian Lillard.
Yeah, let's go ahead and break down the trade here. So I've got that the Dame trade. We got Dame going to the Bucks, Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Tumani Kamara, and one first-round pick and pick swaps in 2029 and 2030 to the Blazers. The Suns get Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nessie Little, and Keon Johnson. The best thing about Damian Lillard in the Western Conference is it's never really impacted anything because the Trailblazers really never did.
They've always been so terrible, right?
And whenever they are in the playoffs, the Jazz haven't been, so it really wasn't that much of a issue for us.
Yeah.
Right? So not a big deal. But him going to the East is wide open. With all the movement and stuff, we don't know if Porzingis is going to work out in Boston. What's New York going to do? What's Cleveland going to do? So it's all kind of like up in the air. You got Miami making it to the finals as the 8th seed, which you and I never really hung our hats on that. You and I both agreed that
much more talented team than that 8th seed was actually saying.
Yeah, the East is wide open, so I think this is a perfect move for them to make there.
Yep. So one note on that is the Blazers are still they're still kind of engaging on deals. It looks like they're going to still try to move Jrue Holiday.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense to keep him on the team.
Yeah, they're going to try to get him to a championship contender. So I'm sure he's headed to the Blazers, or I'm sure he's probably headed to the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, they need one more guard.
Yeah, more guards, dude.
More
defensive guards, whatever. They don't care. Warriors will sign anybody.
We'll just throw
Did you see they just signed Rudy Gay?
Yeah. Yeah, Rudy
One-year
Gay.
deal, looking to make the roster spot. Like, man.
Isn't what's the name of overrated player in the NBA also try out for them the other day? I don't know if he made the team or not. Every time, dude, this is a great running gag that we got going on the show. It's not even on purpose. Every time we try to talk about this guy, I forget his name and we spend 5 minutes trying to figure it out.
I still don't know who you're talking about.
Okay, MVP, played for the Orlando Magic, got traded to the Lakers.
Dwight Howard.
There it
Every
is.
single time.
Every time. Sorry, Dwight. You're just the most overrated player in NBA history. I'm
you're
sorry.
just absolutely nobody. You played in China last year. You had an okay season playing against players that are massively undersized, and you're way stronger than. And now you think you're ready for the NBA again.
Well,
that's going to be a pass.
Yeah, well, I think the offseason in China really made him realize that, look, dude, you're going to be a role player at best. Like, that's going to be your role. If you're going to,
he won his championship with the 2020 asterisk Lakers.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse ring for sure.
Check out the previous episode; it's a good one.
Yeah, we talked about that. But so yeah, I just think he realizes, like, look, you're going to be a third or fourth option off the bench, or a third or fourth big off the bench. You're not going to be a key piece there. So now you've got Dwight Howard, who might sign with the team. I don't know if that actually went down or not. I know that they were looking into it. Chris Paul's on the team. Might as well add Jrue Holiday.
And I'm not sure. I'm not sure where Chris Paul even fits in on that team, to be honest with you. But they have a ton of talent all over the place.
Did you hear what his response was when the press asked him if he's willing to come off the bench?
And he's just like, "We're not ready to have that conversation."
No, he turned around to he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you running the team?"
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I saw that.
Like,
yeah.
Really, dude? You think you're going to start over Steph and Clay?
I mean, and the thing is like, if he thinks he's going to be the 1 and Steph's the 2 and Clay's the 3, like you guys are now ridiculously undersized.
Yeah, who's
Maybe they run that for 3 minutes and then Paul comes out, and then when Curry comes out and they sub him. But Chris Paul's never in his career come off the bench before. With all that change, right? Milwaukee moves from the number 4 favorites to win the NBA title next year to the number 1 favorites. The odds are now 4-1. Milwaukee's the favorites to win the NBA championship next year.
Really? Wow. Okay. 4-1.
All they did was add Damian Lillard.
Wow,
They didn't.
okay.
I mean, they didn't really move. I mean, besides the Drew Holiday, obviously he's a huge defensive piece. He's what's helped make that team successful. When you have Drew Holiday on your roster, he has the ability to lock down guards, and the big time guards in this league, right? I mean, that's the high scoring position in all of these teams you're going to face. So having Drew Holiday makes that team much better. So I mean, they didn't lose a ton off of the Bucks, right? They're still the Milwaukee Bucks from last year. I mean, 2 years removed from winning an NBA title. So the Bucks are going to be very good. You add the scoring punch from Damian Lillard, you space the floor a ton and give Giannis a even larger lane to run through and dunk the ball on everybody's heads. The Bucks are going to be good. The Bucks are going to be very, very good this year.
The Bucks are sending a lot of role players to the Blazers and some picks.
That 2029 pick is going to be very scary because Giannis has already been in the media saying that he's chasing championships.
Yeah, I think that was his way to get them over, to get them to trade for Damian. I mean, you got to love how straightforward and honest he is. Like, look, the goal was to get a ring here. You know, the next goal is to win another championship. Is that here or is that somewhere else? I don't know.
Yep.
He's like, but I'm not going to stick around and sign a mass extension if we're not competing.
Giannis is a real one, dude.
Yeah, he came out and just said that, like, this is how it's going to be. You know, I'm not going to just sugarcoat it and say, oh yeah, I'm a Buck for life, like some players in the trade. But it's good. It's refreshing, and literally his statements like that is pretty much what made this deal happen.
Yep, I agree.
So I think let's go ahead and talk about how this deal affects the Utah Jazz, shall we?
Yeah.
So the only thing I can really think of that really kind of makes this the effect is that I really think the Blazers got a lot better with this trade.
The Blazers?
The Blazers got better. You add a disgruntled, overpaid big man from Phoenix, and you put him with the team where he can be a second scoring option or potentially a first with Scoot. We'll see how well Scoot handles, but they're going with their young backcourt, and you got a playoff experience, finals experience center that is upset about being a third or fourth option. Now gets to be the second or first option on a team. I think Portland is going to be a much better team this year than they were last year.
I totally agree. It's funny because I did not look at it that way, actually. I didn't think that adding DeAndre would be that great of an add just because he's been, I mean, really irrelevant with the Suns, right? I mean, he hasn't been anything special. I like the move. I think Portland is still going to struggle. We're going to see how Scoot Henderson does. He's a fantastic player, right? But we're not sure how he's really going to react in this big time stage in Portland, because he's now, after this move, he's expected to carry the torch of Damian Lillard. He's expected to be a successful guard. He's expected to score 30 points a night. Those are very big shoes to fill in Portland.
Yeah, I would argue that there's not that kind of expectation on him. I think that Portland went young with their guards and realized they're going to run with their super young backcourt. They have a strong front court now with DeAndre Ayton, and I'm willing to bet you that they bought some time with the fan base. I don't think they have to turn this around and be a playoff team this year or the next year, but I do think they made themselves a much better team. They're not going to be the last team in the West this year like everybody expected to be. Right. So I think they got time. I think Scoot could probably score 20, 25 points. Just look out for this kid, man. If it wasn't for Victor, he would have been number one pick easily.
3.
Yeah, he would have been the I'm not so
You're not so high on Brandon Miller, huh?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not so high on that guy. But yeah, I think this guy would have been in any other draft. Scoot would have been number one easily.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the talent. He's got the confidence, and I think he's gonna do great things in Portland, as long as he sticks with it. And he's got a good supporting cast around him. He's got the right coach, got the right GM. So I don't know. I think Portland's not going to be nearly as bad as everybody thinks they're going to be. So
they're going to hand him the keys.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's his show it's his bus to drive at this point.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. Shakes up the West a little bit. I really like it. Yeah, the Suns got better too. I mean, you don't really need a whole lot of. I mean, you got two, Nurkic and Grayson Allen are just defensive presences out there, and you don't need offense for the Suns. So I think they did a great job.
I was actually always worried about the Suns bench players because I mean, yeah, they're 5-6 deep. I think they're probably 7 or 8 deep now.
Mm-hmm.
They've got some talented young guys that they can continue to develop. Watch out, right?
Yeah, I think the Suns have been favored to be the ones coming out of the West for most people that I've been reading.
Absolutely,
they got the Suns coming out of the West.
Yeah.
So I don't think this hurts them. I just think this makes them a little bit better. So they got better. I think the Bucks definitely got better. And I think the Blazers also got better. I think this is a win all the way around for all.
Yeah, I mean that was the first thing I text you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Yep.
Did you? So how does this affect Utah? Does this really does this really affect the Jazz at all? I think they're still going to finish above the Blazers. Still, they're going to think they're going to finish below the Suns.
Yeah, I mean I think this is kind of a wash for Utah.
Mm-hmm.
The way this worked out great for Utah is if Damian signs with the Jazz, which did not happen. I was all game to see Tyler Hero here. I wanted to almost do a video on that. We missed it by Luckily, we didn't waste our time.
Speaking of Tyler Hero, have you heard the comments about him and Butler on social media?
Yeah, I saw that they wanted to be investigated for tampering.
Yes, which if you're the Miami Heat,
I only saw a clip on this for Instagram though.
Yeah,
was Butler being serious?
Yeah, he's dead serious. He's like, you didn't hear it from me, but I'm like, what do you mean we didn't hear from you, dude? You just said it out loud on Instagram
on the camera.
Of course, we heard it from you. You're like, where else do we hear it from? Jimmy Butler's really got to be careful when he says things like that.
He's about to get fined
because the Miami Heat. Okay, so let's talk about baseball. Okay, I'm going to pivot to baseball on this one. Do you know why during the sticky stuff era, no player ever called out a pitcher on the other team saying, hey, that guy's using a bad substance?
Because all of their pitchers were using bad substances.
Exactly, because they had to make sure their house was clean and they know it wasn't.
Yeah.
So same thing here. Miami is not exactly had the cleanest record when it comes to tampering. If you're listening to this show on podcast, or if you're watching it on YouTube, do yourself a favor, open up another tab and Google Miami Heat, New York Knicks, and tampering, and just go down that rabbit hole because this franchise has a history of it. So there shouldn't be the one pointing fingers in this scenario. So that's all I'm going to say on that matter.
Jimmy had championship aspirations, thinking that they were going to land Dame, and I think we both kind of called it. I don't think we ever felt confident that Dame was heading to Miami because the Trailblazers they just weren't going to be forced into any position, right?
No,
they were we're going to get the best possible scenario back for Dame Lillard. He's our best asset we've ever had in the history of the franchise. There's not a chance that we're going to let him go and not feel like we got our money's worth for Dame Lillard.
Yeah. Excellent move too, because, Pat Riley, doesn't matter how many rings you have, doesn't matter how good of an executive you have. Unless you offer us something better than what everybody else is doing, we don't have to make this deal.
Just not interested.
Yeah. Good for a small market team. Just stick it up for it. Good on the Portland Trailblazers, though, for not getting bullied out of that. Let's go ahead and pivot back to the Utah Jazz here, and let's talk a little bit about what they've announced. Actually, just recently, they announced their streaming service. Is it Note Plus or is it the Utah Jazz or Jazz Plus?
I think it's Jazz Plus.
Okay, because what they do is they have a little plus right next to the note on the announcement. So I'm like,
I saw that.
And I'm like, is that just a graphic, or am I supposed to be reading that?
Yeah, I will be subscribing tomorrow.
Okay.
Because it comes with. If you subscribe early, it comes with 2 Jazz tickets and a hat and a shirt.
We're gonna break that down here in a minute.
Okay.
About the different levels of that, but
got it.
Let's talk about the significance of this. So they're announcing a streaming service instead of having it be on a regional sport network.
Yeah.
Right. So if you were subscribed to YouTube TV, Fubo TV, or any other streaming services, or Sling, or any other type of things that would give you a streaming access to local networks, that's all gone.
Correct.
Those are gone. Those will no longer work. The only option you have now is KJazz 14, which is a broadcast channel,
which is free.
Yep. Kind of.
You just need bunny ears
if you can get it to work, and if you get good reception, good on you. Or if you subscribe to cable, satellite, it's going to be one of your local networks, and you're going to get it anyway.
Yep.
However, this does move the needle quite a bit for those people like myself. The only reason I'm paying $60 a month to have TV is so I can watch Utah Jazz basketball games.
Absolutely.
And this changes that.
Yep.
This absolutely changes that. So let's go ahead and break down the different packages here that come with that. Let me just go ahead and get to the image that I have of that there. So we'll also throw it up on the screen for you. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll be actually probably more like down here, but
yeah. Right there.
We can't get rid of the talent. We got to show the faces.
Yeah, you got to see all this
on the
good,
YouTubies.
That's right.
Okay, so I actually thought this came out to be much more expensive than I was expecting it to be.
Really?
Yes, I actually thought this was going to be much cheaper than this.
Okay.
I actually was expecting around anywhere from $5.99 to $10. I thought this is what they were going to do per month. And I understand why they're not doing it that way, just simply because the regional sport network thing and the NBA League Pass. And when you break it down, it's going to be, the best, most value deal is going to be basically around $1.50 a game, basically.
Yep.
But single Jazz games are $5. So
the fact that you can just jump on the internet, pay for an individual game, $5. If you are not like a religious Jazz watcher, that is a fantastic deal.
Yeah, you don't have to subscribe to a network channel. You don't have to commit yourself to a long-term contract. You don't have to sign up.
You could just jump on and watch a Jazz game. $5.
Pay for the game, $5. So, and that's every game. That's not just Utah versus the Trailblazers.
Yeah,
that's Utah versus Golden State. That's Utah versus Phoenix Suns. That's any game.
Yep,
$5. So I do see that as being a value piece there. The one that I think is the least value, and I think they did this on purpose, is the monthly Jazz Plus rate.
That is correct.
At $15.50 a month. So this was literally a third higher than I thought it was going to be. So this comes with live games, exclusive content, on-demand games, which I don't know what the difference is on there between that and live games. You get preseason games.
Well, on-demand would mean you can play like a previous game from before. So if you want to go back, you can go see the previous.
Oh, okay,
game.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Okay, not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
You can do that.
There's
on YouTube
some value
anyway.
there. Yeah,
and then also Spanish broadcast as well for that $15.50. Now let's get into the two pieces that are going to be the most important. This is the same package, but it's pre and post October 24th, basically.
Right.
Jazz Plus prepaid annually is $125.50. You got to have that 50 cents in there. That's just important.
It's huge.
It needs to be there.
It's huge.
So $125.50. Now let's go ahead and mention, you mentioned it, but go ahead and restate what comes with this package.
Yeah. So you get 2 tickets to a Jazz game this season.
Mm-hmm.
You get a Jazz hat and a Jazz t-shirt. Correct?
That's right.
Perfect.
Plus all the additional pack pieces that come with the bonuses, like the on-demand games and all that additional stuff that came with the $50 a month. Sorry, $15 a month. $15.50. Why is the one game $5 and everything else is at $0.50?
I'm not sure. That's kind of funny though.
That is kind of funny. Wasn't the per game one $5.50? Did they expect that to be too expensive?
Yeah, $5.50 is a little much.
That's a little much.
All
right.
Pushing it a little bit too far.
So then we move back to what would the same package would be after the 25th of October. So obviously what they're doing is they're trying to push subscribers to this really quickly by offering this fantastic package, right?
Yep.
So after October 25th, the 2 free Jazz tickets and the hat and the shirt are gone, and so now you're just with you're prepaying for the year. You're still getting every game for $1.50 a game, but you're losing the value out of those tickets. Now my guess is those tickets are probably about $20 a pop tickets.
I'm sure.
So, or 25 I think is the minimum ticket price you can get there. But that plus the t-shirt, which is probably a $10 t-shirt and a $5 hat or a $10 hat, but that does bring down the cost.
I was gonna say, before you know it, now you've paid $100 for all 82 games.
Oh, less than that. Because per ticket is $25.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you got $50 plus
like $1 a game.
You are actually probably around $65 to $70 that you're paying annually for watching the games.
Which is a great deal.
Very good deal. So
considering I paid $140 a month for cable.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get into who's better with Xfinity, DirecTV, Dish, and all that stuff.
Xfinity is the best, so there's not even a discussion there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're going to say it. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. But right now now I have to justify. Okay, well now I'm getting $125. We break that down by 12. That's $10 a month.
Uh-huh.
$10 a month is a lot better than what'd you say? 100? How much were you paying for cable?
$140.
$140 a month. I'm paying about 60 because I'm going with the bare bones on it.
I feel like I just need Jazz basketball.
Yeah, the package I have they don't even offer anymore, but that's how long I've had it, and I refuse to change because I want to keep the Jazz games. But
stay with it.
I don't need to worry about that anymore.
Nope. We got $125.50. You can watch every Jazz game and get 2 tickets.
Absolutely. Love it. You know what we should do? We should both get this and take each other, make sure we don't get the same game and take each other to the other game. and we'll do some vlogging for the channel.
100% in.
It's definitely what we got to do.
Yep. I'm buying mine tomorrow. So
yeah, I mean, this is fantastic. So, I mean, Jazz fans, let us know in the comments down below. Let us know what you think. Are you going to be signing up for this streaming service? This is particular to the Utah market within 25 miles of Salt Lake City, or anybody who's based in Utah. So
it does go up into Idaho a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, 250 miles. Of
250.
Salt Lake City.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
250 miles of Salt Lake City.
And did you see, just as an adder here, as of now, it's only available on phones, tablets, laptops. It's not available on TVs streaming until later in October.
Right.
So,
Why
which would be
do you
nice.
think that is?
I'm sure they're probably just developing the app, because they're going to need an app that can go across, like a Fubo, or, I mean, they need to actually build the application so that they can stream it across the app. That would be my guess.
Well, you know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to put it on my phone and I'm going to just cast it to my television. Isn't that exactly what everybody else is going to do too?
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. So again, let us know in the comments down below, folks, what your plan on usage on that. Your phones, tablets, everything. Yeah, that's great. But I'm pretty sure what I'm doing is what everybody else is going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let us know what you guys think. Are you guys going to sign up for this? This was literally the only reason why I haven't cut the cord. I did cut the cord once, and that was the year Donovan Mitchell was drafted, because I thought that the Jazz were going to have a terrible season. So I'm like, if I'm going to go cable free, this is the year.
And then DM45 happened.
That was a mistake. I, missed out on the rookie year of Donovan Mitchell. Did catch all the highlights, did watch a lot of YouTube content on it, but unfortunately didn't get to watch any of that. So won't be doing that again. So I've been paying $60 a month for
it's been
one
worth every
channel,
penny.
and it's been worth every penny. But in this case, it's much better. Let us know, Utah Jazz fans, what you think. Let us know in the comments down below. Is this something you're going to sign up for? Are you going to do the monthly? Are you going to sign up for the prepay for the year? Like we said in a previous video, we love how it's actually not short. It's also in a video. We love how this ownership group is putting the fans ahead of the bottom line. This is definitely going to make them
absolutely.
This is definitely going to make them a lot of money, but not nearly as much money as if they would have just re-upped with Root. Right?
Yeah, just signed a big ass contract.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be great. I look forward to it.
Go Jazz.
Absolutely. Go Jazz. All right, so let's go ahead and
set change. Hey, Darren, let's pivot on over to Major League Baseball.
Sounds like a good plan, man.
Excellent.
Let's do it. You know what we should really do on Major League Baseball?
Oh, the ball.
Yeah, that lasted 5 seconds.
Man down.
See, this is why I have a Dodger hat there, people.
You're a Dodgers fan.
Because the baseball rolls. The Dodger hat doesn't roll. So, notice how the hat's not moving.
Go Braves.
What I want to talk about on Major League Baseball is, first of all, again, really appreciate all the engagement we've had so far on our Major League Baseball content. Ironically, it is our highest performing video that we have on the channel. For a local Utah channel to have most of what people watch on us is Major League Baseball. Really appreciate it, guys. Continue the support. We love it.
And we love the comments. We love the trash talk back and forth. You guys can say, just be ready. We're going to fire back.
That's right. We bring our facts to the fight here at the show. We definitely do. So the point of, let's go ahead and talk about who's hot, who's not in Major League Baseball. Now, again, the last week we talked about the San Diego Padres, how they went 9 out of their last 10. They won 9 out of the last 10.
Yeah.
Well, as of last night or this morning, they've officially been eliminated from postseason baseball. So
they were doing so good.
They were doing so good. So again, let's start talking by the two teams that have actually clinched their division. Actually, now it's 3 teams. Forgive me. It's now 3 teams. The Los Angeles Dodgers, the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Atlanta Braves. All 3 West Coast, all 3 National League teams. The first place team has clinched their division. We only have 1 wild card clinch, which is the Philadelphia Phillies. So good luck with that one, my friend.
Go Braves.
Those would not be the team I want to face first round. So,
right.
So good luck with that.
Nightmare.
Next, we have back east, as far as those who clinched their division. The only team who has done that is, believe it or not, the Minnesota Twins. The Minnesota Twins clinched their division. They had a 10-game lead, and there's less than 10 games left in the season. So, they're gonna easily walk in with that. 2 other teams that have clinched the playoff berths we talked about last week is the Baltimore Orioles and the Tampa Bay Rays. So those are people who are in. The new teams that are out, that have been eliminated, have been the Detroit Tigers, the Cleveland Indians, and also the San Diego Padres and the San Francisco Giants have all been eliminated from postseason play.
I am excited. So we're going to watch some postseason baseball together this year.
Wouldn't admit on the air that you don't actually watch regular season baseball.
I watched 2 games. I've watched 2 games in the last week.
Very true.
Both Braves games. Go Braves.
Yeah. Great season for the Braves. There's a lot of fun stuff coming down the stretch, though. So let's go ahead and take a look at the wild card standings right now. You have the Houston Astros, the Seattle Mariners, and the Toronto Blue Jays could all tie. Right now, those are three teams that are in the hunt. So basically, Toronto has a 1-game lead. Houston has the third position, and Seattle's only a half game back.
Wow, that's a super close race.
That's going to be fun to watch to see who comes out of there because, again, Texas can win the division or Houston can win their division. So either one of those teams are probably going to slide into a potential playoff spot still with the wild card. If that happens, then we're going to be dealing with Max Scherzer versus Justin Verlander in the first round of postseason baseball.
Dude, how legendary would that be?
Both teams on the Mets. By the way, did you see the article with the Mets? Pete Alonso had the hardest hit ball recorded this year. 114 miles an hour off exit velo off the bat.
No, I did
just
not see that.
Crushed it. Like it literally was gone out of the stadium, like into the stands about 2.5 seconds after he hit the ball. Just clunk and then
just straight out.
Just a lightning.
No doubt.
Straight out of there. It's fantastic to see. On the National League side, we have we have Philadelphia, who's clinched a playoff spot, who will be in the wild card game. You have Arizona that has a 2-game lead. The Cubs and the Marlins are tied for the third spot. And then you got the Cincinnati Reds, who are a game and a half out. And again, San Diego has officially been eliminated. They're 4 games out. They have 4 teams in front of them. There's just no way. So they're done. NL wild card, AL wild card, both gonna be fun to watch down the stretch coming into this. So nice little fun sprint to the end there. Still some division races up in the air. The AL West, which has typically over the last 10 years been, given to the Houston Astros. Now it looks like that they are fighting for a playoff spot, just a wild card spot. So I think that's, fascinating stuff.
Crazy change of pace there, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we did mention it a little bit last week where we talked about the Tampa Bay Rays have inked in a deal to build a new stadium. And it's something we've covered on the channel a lot. The fact that they were one of the teams that were more likely to relocate due to the fact that no one's going to their games. They're one of the best teams in the American League and no one goes to any of their games. They were potentially one of the ones that could potentially relocate. That has no longer been the case as of the 19th. The Tampa Bay Rays announced that they are putting the finishing touches on a plan for a new 30,000 seat ballpark in St. Petersburg, part of a $6.5 billion development project that includes affordable housing, retails, restaurants, Black History Museum, and all that fun stuff. So
crazy, because that's pretty similar to what like the proposed stadium is for Utah. It's a whole renovation area of a whole district. The proposed plan for Utah is kind of like that very similar thing. So that's kind of funny that the Rays kind of followed those footsteps.
Absolutely. And we're definitely going to get into that because we definitely need to talk about that because there's new news about that came out as well. So
excellent.
Definitely dive into that. But so as far as this goes, this kind of takes the Tampa Bay Rays off of relocation talks, basically. So that team's going to pretty much be staying where it is. Not necessarily. It's actually further south than where it is, but it's still in St. Petersburg. So here's my problem with this. Okay, you're spending $6.5 billion to develop this location, but you still have the underlying problem that you already had with your stadium in the first place, is that they have to cross that ridiculous bridge.
Nobody wants to go.
No, and it's not in Tampa Bay.
Right.
This is a massive bridge that runs over to get to St. Petersburg, and it's further south than where the current stadium is. So, yeah, I love all the new stuff. I love the brand new stadium. I love the restaurants and making it more desirable to be there and all the housing and everything they're going to do there. I think all that's great, but they're not fixing the same problem they already have, is that it's just not a great place to go watch a game. Baseball has been a sport that's been able to sell tickets to people who don't care about baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been attractive for just the atmosphere that comes with going to a Major League Baseball game.
You go to the Florida Marlins game, you go to a Diamondbacks game, there's a pool in center field that you can swim in. In a lot of games, there's kids play areas, there's rides, there's attractions, there's bars, there's restaurants. They could do a great job in baseball, get people to the ballpark who don't care about the game.
Yep.
So in this case, you're doing the exact opposite by building a stadium further away than your current one is. Yeah, it's nice and shiny.
Already nobody wants to go to.
But yeah, exactly. I don't understand this. Like, where am I missing this? Tell me where I'm missing this.
I don't think you are.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. They probably got a great deal on the land and decided that we can keep the team here. We can afford it.
So that kind of takes away them as a relocation team. But this is actually good news for Salt Lake City fans who are expecting to see a Major League Baseball team here.
Why is that?
So what it's done is it's eliminated the relocation team. So now both teams that were need to be relocated are now settled. The Oakland A's have settled. They're moving to Las Vegas. The Tampa Bay Rays are staying exactly where they are with their new stadium. Those were the two variables for the commissioner of baseball to expand the league.
Right.
So now he's going to be in expansion mode. There's two teams that he needs to put, one in National League, one in the American League, right? And the top three cities are Nashville, Portland, and Salt Lake City. Buster Olney said on a podcast probably about a week ago, almost a little less than a week ago, that if he said, okay, well, if I had to pick a team, one of them is going to Nashville. That's the odds-on favorite. Nashville's getting one. And he's like, where would the other one go? And he's like, I'd pick Salt Lake City. If I was to pick one, and that's Buster Olney. That's a MLB insider. That's the guy that's in with the league offices. He knows what he's talking about there. So the fact that he's saying the odds are the next team to go would be for Salt Lake City, I think that's huge.
Absolutely. And can I just say how much I want a Major League Baseball team here?
Yeah, it'd be another
major sport.
Yeah.
Love to go check out some games. But Salt Lake City is a very attractive market. You know what I mean? We've got the Jazz.
We also have the MLS soccer team. Real Salt Lake won a MLS Cup and absolutely nothing since. Mm-hmm. But just again to reiterate that Buster Olney of ESPN reporter did state that Utah would be his favorite pick for the second expansion team, with the first one obviously going to Nashville. This is his direct quote. The second team is open to question. There's opportunity for some billionaire to step in and do some big things. He said on the Baseball Tonight podcast, if I'm just sitting here guessing today, and that's all I'm saying is it's a guess, I think it's going to be Salt Lake City. Buster Olney said that he heard the baseball executives want a new franchise in the western states to even out the geography of the U.S. That's Utah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's literally the heart of the West. You got to go through I-80, any driving. We got a soon-to-be brand new international airport to help get athletes in and out. Where the stadium's going is it's in close proximity. Not to mention you've got like the UTA tracks line that can get you in and out of the stadium quickly. Like they've picked a perfect location, easy to get to for people traveling from out of town. I mean, they've got all the tools. You know, we just need to get that go ahead so we can actually get a stadium here.
Absolutely, and I love the plan for it. I love it in the Power District where it's at. We'll go ahead and throw up another rendering if you're watching this on YouTube. I think it's super awesome. Again, more information, great information about potential of the Larry Miller Group bringing Major League Baseball here to Salt Lake City. So super fantastic.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
If you were watching this on YouTube, the full episode is available on YouTube. Just go to the playlist, which will be linked on that side of the screen at the end of the video for the full episode of everything we talked about this week. If you'd like to listen to it as a podcast, it is available as a podcast. And it can be found wherever podcasts are available.
Yep. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like it, make sure you share it, and make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button.
Absolutely. Once again, folks, my name is Darren. That is AJ. And this has been the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.